we had to get our website. We didn't have this before, but we created a website for adjuncts. They can see what offerings are approved. Not everything was approved, and not everything relates to adjuncts. Adjuncts have a different kind of need that we could identify from that whole array of offerings that we have. And on this website, I'll take you back to the fall. This will be like our running archive of things that we have offered, and any faculty, any adjunct faculty who needs to know, what is approved and what they can take in order to accumulate those R's. This is available to them anytime. And since it's only 2 semesters, you find everything on this scrolling page. For this semester, spring 2016, the offerings are increasing. I can only tell you that adjuncts are now asking for more workshops, more training, more offerings, because they have either completed or taken these trainings that we have offered to them. Of course, you have our AFDB brochure, so I'm not going to take you there. You have it, and this brochure has an attendance form which they take from workshop to workshop, and they get it signed. They put in the number of hours, they get it signed from the presenter or the host, whoever is hosting that session, and that is counted at the end to find out they have accumulated that number of hours. This form again was developed to get the whole process in place. But the idea is that adjunct faculty can avail of these offerings. So we had a lot of challenges to begin with. There's a first piece on communicating. This is a new process because people have the training offerings at the college designed for different length of time. How many hours go into each of these offerings? This is something that is still being decided, because new offerings come in the picture that, okay, we need to include another piece here. Some are predefined and they are all set. Okay, this is a 1-hour workshop. We have 3 campuses, Paramus, Lyndhurst, and Giarco. So we, to bring everybody together who are, working at other campuses, who are working on weekends, who are working after the regular hours, to take advantage of the offering, it's a challenge, because not all adjuncts are on campus when you have your regular hours going on, 8:30 to 4:30 or 9 to 5. Not all adjuncts are there. So how do we extend that piece to adjuncts who cannot be on the campus at those hours? Those are some of the challenges that we still see. But we have had success in bringing this, and now almost we have data for an year. I can talk about my area, Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning. We have seen an increase in attendance from spring 2015 to fall of 2015. The number of people who registered and attended has increased. But I would like to point out here that when you see this table, you would see there are a lot more registered users, which mean adjunct is coming to know about this program, and adjuncts are interested in enrolling in this, so they get to sign. But if you see the number of attendees, a lot of people do cancel because they have their time commitments and other commitments. Apart from that, we still are seeing an increase in attendance from 219 people who attended in spring 2015 to 250. So I don't have data for the spring, but you can see it's gradually increasing. So far, I'm happy to report that we had, including yesterday, somebody who submitted, we had 14 people who completed this 20 hours of compensation for AFP. So and I expect to see more people turn their attendance form. I just want to take a minute to read something from a faculty member who just gave me this yesterday, a packet with a cover letter. There are 2 sentences here, and I'll wrap up with that. In his cover letter, he writes, "The majority of workshops and events I attended were very helpful to me as an adjunct with no prior training in education." And in the end, he says, "I thank you in Bergen Community College for the opportunity to receive training in education that I would not otherwise have been able to obtain." So, this is encouraging, and, we'll continue to work on this program. And now, my fellow colleague, Dr. Kalimili.
So 750 adjuncts at Bergen. Most of our classes really are being taught. Do we have adjuncts in this audience? Well, we hope to provide you with some encouragement or some ideas. Maybe if you don't have something like this, you can request it. If you don't have a union, maybe that's an answer. I started working with the Vice President for Academic Affairs about a year ago, and this was the first project that we did together. So there's a lot of excitement for me in this, and also it's been a very creative process. And if anybody in here is a faculty development coordinator and also a faculty member, I find myself getting increasingly more developed as I work with other people on this project and other things that Amarjit and I do together. So let me just describe this program a little bit. Everything is in the brochure, but just so you get a clearer picture, they have to do 20 hours of approved activities. So we have the responsibility of determining what those activities are and providing that approval. Most of them are on campus. We are trying to have some online activities, so we're working on those. They receive the $500 stipend. As soon as they do the 20 hours, we have been able to work with our payroll department to be able to process that through as soon as they are certified, so we're not waiting till the end of the semester or the end of the year. It is a year-long program, so they have the 2 semesters to work, to accumulate the hours, to attend things and accumulate. We are going to be giving them a certificate, which we will be presenting for the first time at our fall adjunct faculty conference, so it's going to give us a chance to provide some extra recognition for those people who have done this. There is a recertification, a second year, which was also negotiated, and that's also described in the brochure. If someone has finished it, like Charisse, she can then get recertified by doing 10 hours in one of the next 2 academic years. Again, they would be approved on-campus activities, and that stipend for the second recertification is $250. Okay, so those were the terms and conditions. Given the enthusiasm of those who have completed the program in this year, we anticipate that we'll be seeing some recertification candidates in the future. The program goals, this is actually the part that I find really exciting. We are trying to develop a community, sense of community for the adjuncts. Those of you who are adjuncts or work with them know that there's a sense of isolation. They don't know, people sometimes, they're not around. So we're trying to develop a community of professionals around best practices in teaching and learning. And also, AFDP is part of a larger academic affairs effort to foster instructional research and design in order to update pedagogical approaches and techniques. So we believe that student engagement and success in learning is in a large degree dependent on classroom dynamics and instructional design. So as Amarjit showed you, we had a very large array of programs. We want to bring some cohesive and coherency to all of the things that we're doing on campus to enhance the practice, classroom and instructional praxis. So we definitely feel the need to bring the adjuncts into this effort to be part of a community of teachers working on common concerns. We've also been introducing scholarship of teaching and learning to everyone, but especially are excited that adjuncts have come to our sessions to work with others on questions regarding student learning. We have, since we have so many adjuncts, the AFDP is about reaching out and encouraging their involvement in this array of activities that you have seen, and particularly for those related to teaching and improvement of teaching and learning. So we're trying to become a kind of conduit for information to give the adjuncts a clear idea of which activities would be most pertinent to their roles as teachers, scholars. As I said before, we've had an enthusiastic response from teachers in all stages of their careers, especially those starting out. I've also had feedback from new faculty members, young people who are just getting hired, just starting out in their field, teaching maybe for the first time. I specifically we have one participant who is in hotel and restaurant management, so apparently he came directly from his hands-on experience in the workforce, and now we're teaching him how to teach those things. And it's really fascinating to be part of that process. Okay, so the program offerings for AFDP, the things that are on our approved list, largely have to do in the beginning with technology training and using web-based resources for teaching. This is in part because as we started this, we looked around at what we were offering. We already had this program coming from the Center for Innovations in Teaching and Learning. So we decided we were going to use what we already had. And so this turns out to be a good idea because most faculty members are looking for technology training and how to use technology in the classroom. So we looked for those activities that meet our goals, which were updating pedagogical approaches and techniques. And we also, in addition to the CITL workshops in technology, we also offer some workshops that are related to other aspects of teaching. For example, universal design and student motivation are on our list of approved activities. And we purchased a subscription to the Magna Publications 20-Minute Mentor to provide online access, which is provided to everyone on the campus through a Moodle site. Okay, so finally, how do we figure out what are specifically adjunct faculty needs and expectations? So we put this out, this was our design, but we also are trying to find out from the teachers themselves what they need. So in the fall of 2015, we conducted a strength-based inquiry at the Fall Adjunct Conference. All the adjuncts in attendance in their divisional meetings were given a chance to participate in paired interviews about high point moments in their teaching and to express their wishes for institutional support for extending these moments. And across the board, adjuncts expressed a desire for technology training, for classroom use of technology, as one person said, how to use techno education, which I had never heard that before. Collaboration or partnerships for better teaching. One person said more interactions with professional colleagues. Another person said idea sharing to enhance teaching. So those are their goals, and we are also trying to meet their expectations and their goals. And perhaps Sharice could tell us whether we did a good job.
My name is Sharice Breeden-Balam. I'm an adjunct at Bergen Community College. I'm also an adjunct at Union County College, and I'm also adjunct at Rutgers University. So I am definitely one of those highway jumpers. I am always on the road. One of the good things about Bergen was this program. I have to say that I wasn't really interested until I seen that I could earn $500. That became my motivator. I said, show me the money. So I tried to sign up for every course there was because I needed the check. And I was not stopping until I got it. But besides that, it really helped me in the classroom. My topic is sociology. I teach intro to sociology, sociology of the family, women's studies, intro to psychology. So those topics are very dry. They're dry to the students. They're not dry to me because those are my passions. So how do I portray, how do I get the students engaged in the information? So one of the classes I took in particular was web-based, how to create slides. So this is my before. I guess some people can relate, right? You put all your words up there and you stand off to the side and you read all the terms and you kind of give an example and the young people stare at you and then they try to text somebody and they stare at you some more and you're still going on with the slides and then you give them another slide and then you keep talking and then next thing you know it's time to go because they're rattling their bags and they're walking out the door. So you're standing there like, I just wasted an hour and 15 minutes because no one understands what I'm saying. So based on the training, I learned that this was not conducive to learning. They was not paying me any attention and they wasn't learning what it is that I needed to do. So I incorporate a lot of TED Talks, a lot of CNN, a lot of 60-minute clips. But because I didn't know how to navigate technology, I literally had to email myself the TED Talk or email myself the CNN clip and figure out while I'm talking how to go back to my email and pull it up, and it was crazy. But because of the course, I learned this little trinket right here, where I was able to make a slide with my information and then just click on the hyperlink and show the video. I felt like a kid in a candy store because before they could start trying to text, I was at the next thing, some music came on, somebody was talking, and now they're engaged. Now we're having conversation. So again, the beginning of it was money, okay? Money is nice, so I thank you, Bill, for the monies. But it really helped me in my classroom. It really helped me get my topic across and to get my students engaged. A lot of my students did not know about TED Talk. They did not know. Now, they love them. As soon as they come, you watching TED Talk today? No, not today. You know, showing them that one of this topic here was on social media. Telling them that social media is important in sociology. Why is it important? But able to let them know that everything that happens in the world is important and getting it across to them so that they can be interested and take that information back out. So again, I'm grateful because this really helps me kind of hone in on my craft and really show my passion and my commitment for my students by them really staying focused and staying with me. And we all know that their attention span is not very long. neither is ours. So you have to do whatever it is you have to do. So these classes here kind of give you tools for your toolbox. Okay, so you need a wrench, you need a hammer, you need some screws, you need everything with you. And when you're going from class to class, from school to school, your dynamics of your classrooms are going to change. But if you have these classes, you can tweak everything you're doing to kind of accommodate your students. So
I'm actually an adjunct at Bergen as well. And I had a couple of questions. One was, is this faculty development, is it grant funded? And my second question was, are the speakers or the people who are conducting the workshops, are they full-time faculty members from Bergen, or are they from outside?
I'll answer the first question, then I'll pass it down. No, it is college funded. That was part of the reasoning in making it part of the adjunct faculty contract. It's codified in the contract now, so we need to commit institutional funds to it. So the money is not going away.
Regarding the presenters, most of our full-time faculty or the staff who is working there, they become the presenter. And this process is already in place. We didn't have to reinvent the wheel. And in terms of outside presenter, we do have at times, like on a day of development, or we run summer institute, we bring people from outside who become part of the program.
Okay, so all of us attend a college-wide day of professional development. And an innovation at our school with this is that everyone on the campus goes, and again, adjunct faculty are invited. And if they attend, they get to log 6 hours for that day. So that's...
Yeah, classes are canceled that day, so there's make it as optimal as possible for them to attend. So,
That was last Tuesday, right?
Yeah, you were there. And you can see at that we had, the morning was focused on this outside speaker, Mr. Chuck Underwood, who's doing some work with the county colleges on generational studies, and then the afternoon were smaller workshops, all facilitated by faculty members and staff. Yeah.
You mentioned briefly some online adjunct training availability. Could you talk a little bit more about that and tell us what level of interest you're seeing for those adjuncts who can't easily get to campus?
So we have limited opportunities online for adjunct faculty right now. One of the programs that we have available for adjunct is a self-paced web enhancing your course. We call it Web Enhance, which is supplementing your course through online material. So we have a program created. If they attend, or they don't have to, if they complete that course, they can earn the number of hours online too. What was mentioned was we have purchased a 20-minute mentor program from Magna. This was made available to all faculty, but what we'll be working in summer for our fall semester is to make modules out of that program, the video presentation. In that way, we can determine that they have watched it and assess, by either having some quizzing or some assignment, so that we can see that at the end of it, they have acquired that skill or that knowledge that presentation, online presentation is being done. So that's a work in progress.
The trainings allow you as an adjunct to be a part of the community college. Because when you're an adjunct, you fly in 10, 15 minutes before your class, and you fly out right after class to go to another class. When you're taking these courses, you're meeting other adjuncts in other disciplines and within your own discipline. So now you have a network. Now you have someone you can call or ask a question. 1. 2, you know more about the college. I know more about Bergen within the last year than I've known since I've started teaching there in 2012. And that is amazing. And that's information that you cannot pay for. I know how to direct my students to different places or even different other people within the building because I've met them at a workshop where we're sitting across from one another, both of us learning Moodle, both of us learning how to navigate this computer system and just having conversation. Those types of skills, you can't pay for those, and you get to take them with you wherever you go. So again, it's not about just the money, no, but it's about really, really professional development and developing your profession all the way around. So I wanted to make sure I gave you that information.
Are these programs that are offered to adjunct faculty already part of the professional development for full-time faculty? Are they developed specifically for adjuncts? And the second part of my question is, when you describe the 20 hours that an adjunct can participate in, are you defining what those 20 hours should be for, let's say, first-time adjuncts? And can an adjunct like yourself continue to participate in professional development year after year after year, considering what I think I heard, you're adding more and more programs as you develop this program? Thank you.
Okay, so all of the programs are open to everybody. So we send out emails and calendars, and anyone who wants to can go to them. So they're not, at this moment, they haven't been devised specifically for adjuncts. I think one of the challenges is to almost create a curriculum with levels and actual types of different pedagogical topics so that we have a more systematic kind of approach to it. Right now, it's been kind of whatever they wanted to do that was on the list, and we did tend to see people kind of running around trying to find the hours to fill their 20 to make up for so that they could get certified. So this is actually our first year, so we have tons of ideas on how to improve it.
I mean, the only one that's specifically for adjuncts is the new adjunct orientation, which is, as Amarji talked about, that half-day Saturday event, and they can use those hours towards their 20 hours. Linda, I think your final question was, can they continually participate? Yeah, so the first time out it's the 20 hours, and they get certified and compensated for that, and then it's the 10 hours every year following. So that's the sustainability that we built into the program.
One of the ideas that we do have is, as people go through this, if we can somehow include them in developing the program. So someone who has gone through maybe the first or the second year, if they have some ideas on how they might want to present a workshop, or maybe eventually we would put together a planning group that included many of the adjuncts. So we're hoping to see if we can, although when I asked them if they wanted to do that, they were kind of like, what, are you kidding? But maybe we can attract them at some point.
We are seeing an interest where a full-time faculty member, is asking for, stuff that they had asked before. So this is growing, and one of the instances that I can quote is like bringing, we have a program called Partners in Learning, and this program, how it operates is 2 faculty members get together and then they share their classroom. So you can go to her and she can go to yours, and that way you can each learn from each other's teaching. So we are seeing more of that, that the training programs that were already in place, and they want to become like part of this adjunct faculty development, under adjunct faculty development program. And this is encouraging because we are using our existing resources towards that.
Yeah, and the other thing is that this program is largely concentrating on best practices in teaching and learning so people can improve their practice. However, at the same time, we have on the campus, as you saw, a huge array of other things going on. So we're working with this idea of, does everything have to be a workshop in how to teach better? And how do we look at co-curricular things? And how do we maybe incorporate, because we have a really, really rich co-curricular environment here at Bergen. So we're kind of trying to figure out how to make those things part of it.
You want to talk about attending the grant workshop? Because that kind of fits into that.
One of the workshops was on grant writing. As a member of a sorority, we want to, make money, get money from grants also. So there was a grant writing workshop that was about maybe like 2-3 hours, but it was so intense and so rich with information, even with websites where you can go on. It was information that you could take outside of Bergen for somewhere else. I'm sorry, Bill, but just sharing information. And the other thing that you were asking about with the classes, there are classes that is like parts 1, 2, and 3, like Moodle, for example, using it, the grade book, the attendance. So you really try to, if that's your weakness and you want to learn it, they set it up so that you can take it in parts. So yes, there is some flying around on one end, but there is some consistencies in other areas. And I think as the program grows, there will be more consistencies. And I think for me, taking the one-day workshop, you get 6 hours, but the other workshops were so good that you don't mind staying after class for that hour, because you really got good concrete information that you could use. It wasn't just worthless conference material. You really were able to use it. Once you left out of that room, you could apply it that same night. With this video, when I showed my daughter, who's 17, I call her the girl also, and she clicked it. She was like, "Oh, let me find out. You popping?" I said, "Yep." I said, and I was so proud of myself, because again, it would take me so long to get to this, and now I'm doing it like in 10 minutes before. And we all know that our students, if we don't keep their attention, they drop their heads, and we all know what that means. We all know. So again, just little things, and people may have known it, but I didn't know it. So it makes my day just a tad bit easier.
I actually have 2 questions. The first one is, Moodle is your online learning environment. Is that mandated for faculty? And do you arrange your workshops for Moodle early in the semester so that they can be trained?
We have Moodle workshops throughout the semester. And as Charisse mentioned, these are offered, depending on the topic. When we switched to Moodle, we offered longer workshops for faculty. But since now it's like almost 4 years into the LMS, we don't need that kind of half a day or a full day workshop session. We do that in parts. And we kind of get the feedback from the faculty. What do they need? What are they looking for? What are the new tools that are coming up? What do they need to, how do they need to brush up their skills? That's what, drives that Moodle training program.
Is it mandated at your college? Not mandated. I do have one other question. As you observe and evaluate your adjuncts, have you considered mandating certain workshops for professional development? Have you done that yet?
No, we haven't. That's the short answer. I think that one of the things that has to happen is much closer connection with deans and department chairs who are actually overseeing the adjunct faculty, so they would be the ones observing them. So as I said, I tried to run an appreciative inquiry at the adjunct conference to find out from them what they want. And although we offer Moodle training, and that's how it's run, 750 adjuncts are not going to it. And a great number of them said that they wanted more training in technologies. So I don't know if requiring it would be the answer, because we would have to have a huge staff to be giving many, many more workshops all over the place at all times, or a good online program to teach it. So yeah, we have to work more to reach more people.
Just a quick, and get to you. I mean, I think our philosophy was we wanted to get this program up and running and to see which workshops people would come to. I mean, we have great interest in perhaps mandating things like collaborative and active learning, because that's a major focus of the college. But right now, we just wanted to, if you build it, will they come? And when they're coming now, we can sort of begin to funnel them.
To be commended on your adjunct program. As a former adjunct, I'm still an adjunct, of 8 years, one of the greatest things that I found is that most of the adjuncts are content area experts, but unfortunately, they did not have, as for me as myself, as a classically trained educator, some of them didn't have classroom strategies. Even as intelligent as VR professional, they didn't know what to do with the behavior in the classroom. So I had another teacher that I worked closely with, I'm coming from K to 12. She was a content area expert, but all she did was lecture. So because I taught anywhere from 3rd to high school, I knew that you had to keep these kids moving or else you said you're gonna lose them. So every 20 minutes, we were changing activities. It wasn't just a straight lecture for the whole class. It was a lecture, 20 minutes of a group activity, 20 minutes of video streaming, 20 minutes maybe of debate, and then the class went really, really fast. So we complemented each other in that area because I was fascinated by her content area expertise. So I think with the adjuncts, you can also tap into their talent that they have because they all bring something to the table in the classroom, but all of us lack in some area where we could possibly share with each other the gaps that we're missing in the classroom to strengthen each other.
Thank you for that comment.
I just want to say I came from a K through 12 background also. I was a program manager for special education. I was the director of special education, and I taught first before I became the director for special ed. So when I talk about the meeting of different people, one of the adjuncts that I met during the training was having a situation in her English class, in a developmental English class. She had a very strong accent, and she was saying about how the students weren't very kind. Okay, and again, that's what I did. I gave her some strategies from my background to help her, move along, and it was just little stuff like what you say, differentiation of learning. And when you're strong in your area, you can ramble it off. I could give you diagnosis from now till Moses comes, but you have to know that young people period, you have to be able to keep them engaged, or else you will have chaos on your hands. No matter how old they are, there's going to be chaos. So me talking to her, exchanging information, my contact information, and just sending her websites with information on it helped her tremendously. I saw her in the cafeteria. She was like, "Oh, I have to buy you a cup of coffee." And she said, "This is the best semester I've had." And she's only used one technique. But sometimes that's all you need. It's just one tool in your toolkit to get you through.
Yeah, so just to follow up on what you said, the data that I collected, one of the major categories of input was collaboration and partnership for better teaching. And I think that so many people said things like that, which sort of speak to the same thing that you were saying about partnering and helping each other. And so we need to find a mechanism for bringing those people together. And also, we think that maybe some kind of consultation, hours where people can just drop in and talk to other people. And that's very simple. I mean, that really isn't gonna cost anything if somebody can set something up.
I'm from Hudson County Community College. Right now I'm the assistant to the vice president for academic affairs. You probably know Dr. Eric Friedman, my immediate supervisor, and I'm the person that coordinates a lot of the adjunct faculty professional development at Hudson. I've been doing that for 2 years now. And I've tried to, utilize some of the things that you all are talking about, and it seems to be working pretty good. I know you know about our program, I'm sure, from Dr. Friedman. And one thing that I did to try to create that atmosphere where different adjunct faculty members can come together and share information. So we have a conference coming up in June 4th. We have that 4-hour conference. We call it the Adjunct Faculty Professional Development Conference. It's happening on June 4th. We have, this will be our 2nd year doing it. We did it as well last summer. We do give a stipend to the adjunct faculty members who attend, but it is open. But if any of you are interested in coming, you would like to come, please let me know. We'd love to have you. I am still looking for a keynote speaker for that day. I don't have one. So we do have, I would like to have the keynote speaker be somebody from outside, but we do have people, some of them are here with us that are doing workshops there, like Dr. Paula Roverson is one of them. But I also did this thing where I do it over in our Starbucks cafeteria place in the library. It's like just come meet and greet. So we provide, we send out a notification to all the adjunct faculty to just come and just sit, have coffee, have Danish. We do that usually in the beginning of the semester. So I usually do that over about a 4-week period and just let them kind of come. And we had some fun, just taking pictures, just talking. But like you said, it really is helpful. And I see that, and I'm sitting with one of our adjunct faculty members here at the conference. I'm so glad she was able to come. And so yeah, I'm glad to hear about this program. I'm really I was taking lots of notes, so I will be following up with you. I want to institute something just like this. Thank you.
I think we are just out of time. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad we left so much time for discussion. I thought that was probably the best part of the presentation. Thank you again for coming. And we have extra brochures up here. If you want to take them back to your campus, share with others, please do. But once again, thank you everyone. We appreciate it.